This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of November 18th, 2024. We are in a crossover time. The middle of November takes us from one way of experiencing life and reality to another. As the week starts, shocks and shockwaves and realizations and massive twists and turns are still shaking us all, from Uranus's participation in the Taurus full moon on the 15th. Saturn has stationed direct, very, very slowly inching toward a major meeting that he will have at Christmas time with Jupiter, making it possible, making it critical for us to take charge of what we can in our lives and see where we can build stability responsibly for ourselves. This week, Pluto finally crosses into Aquarius, where it will stay until the beginning of 2044. It has ducked into this doorway twice in the last year and a half, from the end of March to the beginning of June 2023, and from the end of January to the beginning of September this year. Think about what started to feel different in you, in your life, in your use of technology, in your connections to people around you. Pay particular attention to this summer's experience of it, when the planet Mars, 2/3 of the way through July, amped up by trining in Gemini, amped up what the organizing and community building potential is. And now, as Pluto finally gets to the doorway and stands there until the end of the year, it's not going to move off this degree for some time. Look at how you are now interacting with people. Are you building networks of support? Are you changing your relationship to technology? Lots of that has actually been going on. We have, paradoxically, with this, as we're looking forward, the sensation that there's still much to go back over. Mercury is moving into its retrograde station, which it will hit next Monday. So we will soon be going back over recent information, recent conversations, recent thoughts, but also belief systems. This retrograde will be in the sign of Sagittarius. Education, what we think, how we deal with media, broadcasting, the role that that plays, role of people, places, and things that are foreign to us. This week starts with a lot of tension in the communication arena, actually, and in the arena involving everything that I have just listed. On the 18th, Mercury, the planet that rules communication, opposes Jupiter, and this creates a sensation of mushrooming. Things getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like a rubber band being stretched to its limits, but not quite breaking. This eases into a processing and assimilating moment with the third of the outer planets that are at play. I mentioned Uranus, the quick change artist, which is wrapping up its time in Taurus and shot its lightning through the Taurus full moon. And also Pluto, which is now ending its time in Capricorn. And the third one is Neptune, which is in the long process of wrapping up its time in its home base of Pisces. How we are all interconnected, concepts of compassion, higher guidance, higher love, delusion, lies, boundary blurring, all kinds of confusing things. On the 19th, the Sun is in an unbroken flow of a trine with Neptune, and you may become overwhelmed with knowing what other people are going through. You may hit an incredible point of ecstasy or creativity or compassion or knowing without any logical sense, knowing, just plain knowing, being guided. And this happens as Pluto is making its way through the door into Aquarius and becoming the gatekeeper, the bouncer for every planetary sign change. Pluto will, for the foreseeable future, be the planet at the very earliest degree of the zodiac. A couple of days later, on the 21st, the sun, after having been softened by the trine to Neptune, which, by the way, could be a sensation of surrender, the sun moves into Sagittarius and immediately has a handshake aspect to Pluto, immediately has an opportunity aspect to Pluto, immediately gives us the ability to cut back our idea of ourself, pare it down to something that we can live with, that fits in this new way of being that's coming into place with Pluto being in Aquarius. It's a self-redefining opportunity, and it is immediately followed by the prospect of stability. Venus makes a sextile to Saturn on the 22nd. Venus in Capricorn, in her Santa baby, I want it real, I want something lasting and durable mode, is in an opportunity aspect with the planet of adulting and commitment and order. Something is on offer that helps us stabilize our base, our situations, our own money, our own relationships, our own values. And as this happens, Mercury is in the last moments before it makes its turnaround. Next Monday, it stations retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius until the middle of December, and there will be much more to revisit in every story that has been going on. Homing thought of the week. It is as it is, I am as I am, and now is my time. And if that's too long, use the phrase, I am. Song of the week, I've got two, Break On Through to the Other Side by The Doors and Tonight, Tonight by Smashing Pumpkins. Encourage you to read the lyrics. And the image of the week is the moment in The Wizard of Oz when the cyclone drops Dorothy's house onto the ground and she opens the door and her experience of life goes from black and white to the color of Munchkinland. You'll learn more about this in my Guide to Mercury Retrograde at ohmtimes.com and also in my forecasts for the month of November and the Taurus full moon, which are at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years experience. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Ohm Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern, and this week my guests are Amy Zerner and Monty Farber and their Enchanted World. I also host lively conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.